here is how you do what I like to call Puffy Flowers, or it's a type of like basic trapunto, and it's where you will make something that rises up above the rest of the quilting, so it has a little bit of extra sponginess below a certain area. And if you've never done this before, it's pretty easy. You do need thread that will wash away, and you can get that pretty much anywhere. And so when you put the batting under the area where you want that extra height, then once you put it into the wash, then it disappears and you're just left with your quilting. So that is the one thing you do need in order to do this. But this is how you do it. I'm working on this baby quilt that is just, I just put the squares together here, but it wasn't enough. I wanted to add something extra to it, and since it's a baby quilt, I wanted to do something kind of fun. So I just cut out these basic shapes, and what I want is just a little bit of extra batting underneath each one of these petals so that they rise up above the rest of the fabric. So what I'm going to do is just take each shape, and I'm going to sew it down onto just some regular plain batting with the wash away thread. So that's the first step. Just take all of your different shapes. There's, that's going to be one flower, and then, there's the center, and just sew it down with the wash away thread. Should also add that you want it to be a good 1/4 of an inch in from the edge, because you want to be able to cut this out from here, because you don't want batting sticking out under your petals or whatever shape you have going on. So just make sure that you're a 1/4 inch in, and also make sure that you have the wash away thread in the bobbin, as well as that you're using for the thread. So I have sewn everything onto the batting with the wash away thread, and it's not, a great job. It's just merely there to hold the batting onto that layer. And then what you're going to do is go through and cut them all out. Here's one I've already cut out. Just on the inside, see, this is the top, just on the inside of the batting, so that you don't have batting sticking out beyond your piece of fabric there. Okay. Alright, so all my pieces are together, and I have laid them out exactly where I want them to be. And I am going to go through and take each petal and just put a little bit of glue, just the kind of wash away basting glue, just to kind of hold them in place temporarily, again, while I get it all together and then sew those down. I have glued all of the petals onto the background, and now I'm just going to go around and either again with the water soluble, water dissolving thread, or with a monofilament, something that you can't see or something that won't be there after you wash it, just go ahead and tack down the edges with the sewing machine. So I'm getting ready to sew down the petals, and you can see that I'm going to be going just along the edge here. Now this is not the quilting, because there's no batting in this thing other than the extra batting that's in each petal. And you can see the wash away thread that's here. Now here's a petal I've already done, and you're just going to be going around the edge and kind of tacking it down all along the edge. And again, this is not the quilting, this is just to hold each petal down, and once you get to the quilting, then you can decide what you want to do. Sewed all of my petals down with just a little zigzag around the edge in a kind of see-through filament, so hopefully it's not too noticeable. And then now next I'm just going to put the layers together and start quilting it. On the flowers, you'll notice I haven't actually put the center circles in the middle. I'm going to do that very last, because I imagine as I'm quilting I'm going to end up with kind of a mess in the center, and I'm going to want to be able to cover that up with the center of the flower. So the petals have now been quilted, and I'm just going to add the centers. As expected, I kind of started in the middle of the flower here, and then went out and went all the way around. So I have all of my beginnings and ends right here in the middle. So I'm going to cover those with the centers next. So I've washed it, and you can see that the wash away thread is now completely gone. And I've quilted it, and it is done. And you can see how the petals have a little bit of extra height to them over the rest of the quilt. Anyways, hope that was helpful.